The next natural progression is to move on to half drop. And as half drop suggests, you actually move the block along a little bit and you drop it down half a place. And so you can see very clearly from this example that each block has been dropped just 1/2 a position. Now I'd like to show you how we created that. And you can see here from this piece that I've already started that I actually created a vertical row, and then instead of placing the block next to it, which would have made it an ordinary row, it's been half dropped down. So I'm just going to give you a little demonstration on exactly how to do that. Now girls, if you feel ready to get going, why don't you create, first of all, down the middle, one vertical column, and then just make sure that you've got your block the right way round, because with these graphic ranges, you don't want to suddenly have an upside down butterfly or something. That would be a shame. It might spoil your design, or you may actually love a half upside down butterfly. So you just carry on. If you can see here the position of this block again, can you see that? It's halfway down that tulip. And it doesn't matter if the paint isn't evenly spread, because it just gives it more depth. Now when I go on to the next row, I like to generally start in the middle, just so that it doesn't feel so rigid. But obviously if you prefer to start to one side, that's your choice. So you carry on block printing your half drop. So create your first row as normal. And then I'm just going to move on and show some examples of a completed piece. This is a completed piece of half drop. Can you see how lovely that is? Isn't it just gorgeous? Beautiful? And we've got a variety of different examples here to show you. This one, if you look very closely, is some African masks. Now actually, they're quite hard to tell because we've used different blocks, but every single one's been half dropped so that actually you can't really see the pattern. And that's a clever design when you actually have to look very carefully at it. Now also we have this African drum. I think that's easier to see. Do you see how clear that is? You can see the half drop.
The contrast of the colour and the background brings it out.
Well, I think once you've mastered the idea of this pattern theory, do try and consider the colour theory as well, because if you can have pattern theory working hand in hand with colour theory, you end up with a really, really pleasing piece of fabric.
The background on this is absolutely stunning. How did you do that?
Well, actually, the funny thing about this is once you get into this block printing, it's quite clever because you then have to start also considering the background. Now, earlier on I showed you how to create a lovely background piece of fabric with a serendipity cloth. Yes. But actually, if that piece of fabric is a commercial piece of fabric, it was bought already printed with the butterfly and the flowers, and all we did was print the blue butterfly onto the orange background, and it's quite deceptive, isn't it?
It is, it looks stunning.
So do experiment with your fabrics. You know, do feel that you can actually use commercial fabrics, hand-dyed fabrics, serendipity fabrics, anything you like really. Just try the same block with lots of different backgrounds and see how it all comes together. Rebecca, you seem to be doing really well there. Can I just hold that up to show everybody, please? How did you get on with that? Did you find that quite easy?
Yeah, you just got to move it down a bit and that's fine.
Well, I think you've done an excellent first attempt at that. And Fauzi, let me see yours. There we are. Excellent, very nice, lovely half drop there.
Thank you.
And Lucy, would you like to show everybody how you're getting on? Super. Well, it's wonderful to see you being so confident with your block printing. So I think once we finish that, it'll be time to move on to mirror printing.